Hello and good evening. I just got a few minutes here, so I wanted to pop on. I'm just here in my little studio office room area, and I just wanted to share a couple of things. um, as a I'm a spiritual medium, so I have the ability to communicate, to hear and see, and have conversations with people who have deceased. And I wanted to just kind of touch on something that has come up a lot recently, and not just recently. It's pretty much the number one question, the number one thing that people who have lost someone that they love so deeply, that a question that they ask, something that they want to know. And that question is, what do I do now? What do I do from here? How am I supposed to go on without you? And it's a great question because, when we have someone who we just love so dearly and they've been this huge part of our lives and all of a sudden they're gone, we find ourselves, to be at the very least a little bit lost, if not a lot lost. And oftentimes it can take years before we find ourselves again, before we figure out what's that next step to take and where do we go from here. So I just wanted to share the number one thing that our deceased loved ones, that they want us to know about when they pass away, and how are we supposed to move on. So while every message is going to be like individual and kind of tailored toward, each individual who comes to me, if you've lost a boyfriend or a sister or a spouse or a grandparent, something like that, or a parent of your own, and you're wanting to know, how do you move on, from that relationship. Of course, each one of those people, they're going to have little individual things that they're going to share with you, but there's definitely like this huge main overall theme of, of what they say to pretty much, everyone. And what that is usually they go like this. They kind of put their hands up just to remind us that in the place where they are right now, they don't have the physical capacity to make everything okay over here in our world on our side. So the first thing they do is they remind us that we are our own responsibility. We are responsible for us, and no one else is responsible for us. We are ultimately the ones who decide how and when and what we do, how we handle every situation that comes our way, whether it be positive or negative. We are ultimately the ones who decide how we handle these things. And then the next thing that they do is that they always show me those moments when you missed them the most, when they were just like when they were missed the most, and how they supported you, and they're there with you all the time. Like they're with you. And if you think about it, how many deceased people do you share blood with? How many deceased people? Like if you were able to do your genealogy history all the way back to the person that that you came from, that ultimately your whole existence stemmed from, how many people do you think that is? And the truth is it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. So don't ever think for 1 second that when you have a loved one who's passed away, that even if you can't feel their presence, or you don't know they're there, or you think maybe they're there but you're not sure, I guarantee you, I promise you, you have someone. There is someone who is there. And their message to you is going to be to take the next right step. Just do the next best thing so that you can continue on and move forward in your life. Because over here on this side, we have a life. We're living people. There are things, that we still have more lessons to learn. We still have more people to bless. We still have our gifts to develop, to develop and increase. We're not done. Our job here on the side isn't done. So when someone that we love passes away and passes on and they move on to the other side, What they want us to know is that they're here with us, they're with us, they love us, and that we get to continue on being human. We get to keep going. We get to keep moving forward, knowing that they're there, knowing that they're with you, and knowing that they love you so deeply, like incredibly deeply. I have I have had this ability. I came into the world with this ability to hear and see people who've passed away, who passed on. And every time that I make a connection with someone and they want to express their love, what they do is they'll use the empathic part of me and they'll put their emotion on me. So every time I can't, so I will start to full on, like I will start to cry. I will get really emotional. And it doesn't matter how many times I do this. It doesn't matter how often. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm 34 now, so for 34 years, this is something that I've experienced, and every single time I will get emotional. And it's just because that that is how much, that is how strongly and how deeply they feel for you. And it's just a beautiful and it's an amazing blessing. So something else that I wanted to kind of put out there is I did just recently put together a whole bunch of bracelets. These were not, they did not come to me pre-made. I specifically purchased specific types of beads and I put them together myself with my own hands and my own energy for a purpose and a reason. And two of those kind of bracelets that I actually, a lot more than two are good for this, but there are two that are kind of like more commonly known or used for when you've experienced a loss of a loved one. And one of those I'm going to share with you today is, here they are, is smoky quartz. So smoky quartz, it is obviously a quartz, as quartz as in the name, but it's this dark smoky color, which is why it's called smoky quartz. And smoky quartz is just known for its ability to absorb that like sad energy. It will take it all in, it'll just help absorb it, and it will help. What it does is it takes that feeling that you're experiencing, takes that heaviness, and it transmutes it. It takes it back, it gives it back to the earth where it gets transmuted. So then you can pull and draw from your more positive energy. And it just helps us in the process of moving on and moving forward. So it's kind of like when we're hurting, like that deep, deep hurt and pain that comes from losing someone that we love. We don't want to go out and bask in the sunlight. It hurts. We're in pain, and it's okay to feel that pain and be in that pain. We want to go and hide in a dark cave. We want to go somewhere where it's dark, where we can express how we're feeling to the air, to ourselves, and be alone. Even though we might want other people to be there with us and around us. We're wanting support and love from other people, but there's that inner part of us that wants to go, that needs to process and go through these things kind of alone. So I like to look at smoky quartz as a cave, as the dark cave that you get to go inside. It is just for you. It is your cave. You get to go inside of this darkened cave and sit with your pain and your hurt. And just allow yourself to feel those emotions, because you've got to let them come up. You need to let yourself feel them so that they can be resolved. Otherwise, if you just if you just go in that cave and then you bury them and then you try to come out, they're going to follow you out. So this cave is like it's a very special healing place. It's not a place where you go to hide from what you're feeling. It's a place where you go that you're safe to feel what you're feeling. And that's what smoky quartz does for you. That's one of the things that it can do, is it's like this place where you can just kind of go and bury yourself in your emotions and in what you're feeling. And smoky quartz says it's okay. Yes, do that. It's kind of like it's something that's there to hold you while you cry. And it's to let you know that you're not alone, even though it hurts so badly. It's just there to hold you. It's like this big hug. And it's not going to take away your responsibility, but it is going to support you through your heart through the hard time. Another one that's really excellent and just amazing for going through these transformative periods, which is what, when you lose a loved one, huge transformation, especially the closer they are to you, as in like if it's a mother or a sibling or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife, a spouse, versus a, a friend, from high school 20 years ago kind of thing. So another one that's really, really excellent to wear during the time of grief and grieving is going to be black tourmaline. These are beautiful, beautiful black tourmaline beads. They're actually, I believe it's called a rondelle shape. It's where they're faceted. And this is a really high quality, and you can tell by the weight. Anytime that beads are going to be fake, they're usually really, really lightweight. If you just go into like any craft store like Michael's or Joanna's, go back into their beading section and pick up like, some of their crystals, and you can just feel they're super lightweight. It's just because they're not really very high quality, or if they're even crystals at all. So these have a really great weight to them, and they're beautiful. And something about black tourmaline is it is excellent and amazing for the transmutation of other people's emotions. So when you're going through a time of loss and you still have to continue about everyday things, like you have to plan the funeral, you have to plan on spending time and being around other family members who are grieving and friends who are grieving as well. So it's so difficult around that time when someone passes away. It's really difficult not to get just drugged down even further, and everyone else's pain is pain too. It's so easy to take on all of that and just have this mourning process last almost longer than is necessary for you. So this is where using a crystal like tourmaline, black tourmaline, it can just be so helpful and so effective, because you put this on and it's a little bit like putting on, like a magic cape or something. You don't go invisible, but what it does is it just helps support you in your ability to kind of like separate your emotions and what you experience from those around you, which is it's amazing. Seriously, seriously amazing. So the two that I love to pair up together, and they love being paired together because, number one, they're in the same color scheme family. Crystals, I find that a lot of them enjoy being in the same color scheme. And then, obviously there are other crystals that, you can pair them with the opposites, and it's will give like a happy vibe. But two that just seem to really enjoy being together in the same color scheme are smoky quartz and black tourmaline, because they're both extremely grounding, but they're going to offer you very different things. So the smoky quartz is going to offer you more of a loving, tender, that cave that I was talking about that just holds you. Whereas the black tourmaline is going to be a little more cool and cold, because it's all about what is the other person belongs to them and what is yours belongs to you. And when you're dealing with loss, I mean, this is such a dynamite duo, almost like a must-have when you're dealing with something like that, because this is going to give you that love and support while helping keeping you from absorbing everyone else's just down emotions. So that you get to process and experience and go through what you're going through without taking on even more stuff that doesn't even belong to you. So anyway, yeah, just my little tidbits for tonight. I only have 2 available in the smoky quartz. Oops, I picked up an amethyst. I only have 2 available in the smoky quartz. One of them has this darling little teal elephant on it, and I put that on there because elephants are known for their ability to love with this very deep wisdom. Elephant medicine is is a very grounding and very deep medicine as well. And so I thought it really fitting for this particular gemstone. And then on the other one has a tree of life, kind of indicating that, like, Smoky quartz works with the root, with our root chakra and our chakra systems. And the tree of life is all about as it is below, so it is above, or as it is above, so it is below. And so it's just such an excellent reminder that, you know, as we're dealing with these things up here and out here, we also have this root structure that's in need of our care and our attention. And that's what smoky quartz is all about. So going deep down below into that cave of support and love. And it's a place where you can take, where you can pull out your shadows and let them kind of be free, not in a negative way, but in a healthy way. Kind of let them come out so they can be worked with and touched and palpated and transmuted. So yeah, and then the black tourmaline, I only have 2 available in these as well. I'm very, very happy to order more and make more for you. But that's totally dependent on whether or not they sell and how quickly they sell. So again, on one of the black tourmaline, I did use elephant medicine again. For the same purposes. And then on the other one here, I actually have the evil eye. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the evil eye. The eye itself is not evil. Let me show you so you can see a little bit better. The eye itself is not evil, but it's to keep away the evil eye. And what that means is it kind of goes a little bit along with not Murphy's Law, but what is that? Anyway, it's to keep that. It's just an extra level of an extra barrier of protection. And since black tourmaline is already so protective, I thought, why not give it another extra little bump here? So depending on whether you're needing like that ultimate protection, then you know, ask for the evil eye one. Or if you're wanting some, you know, some protection from, you know, those other things, but you'd like to have a little touch of support, then go with, then request the elephant one. All right. Excuse me, I'm still at the tail end of getting over a cough. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope that this was helpful, and please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to talk with you, and I will talk to you guys later. I hope you all had a wonderful Valentine's Day. Bye.